Oh, God. There was a time when it was easy to come across some content on YouTube that was worthy of a response. Do you remember those times? When bedroom feminists roamed the earth unhindered and we were treated to a plethora of people telling us what we're not allowed to say. Nowadays, however, it seems they've disappeared. Well, not disappeared as such, but rather moved to a different platform. One which doesn't require very much effort at all, and most videos are under a minute long. Yes, it's time I dipped my non-existent toes into the foul and fetid cesspool that is TikTok. A place where you can be anyone, and it seems some people have chosen to be entitled. So, let me introduce you to Bunny Quinzel, or rather, let Bunny Quinzel introduce themselves to you.
Hi everyone!
Hi, oh my god, do you know what? Never mind.
I don't think I've done like a general introduction yet as to who I am, so I thought I would do that now. Hi, my name is Bunny and I use bun pronouns.
I'm sorry, what? You use bun pronouns? Bun? As in bread? Is that allowed? I mean, why not go all out and identify as a malted loaf? Or a mouldy loaf in your case? Or do you mean bun pronouns as in rabbits? Because, I mean, well, that's just as insane, really.
So who am I?
Somehow, I don't think you're the most qualified person to answer that question, Bunny.
I am a gender fluid trans femme.
Yep, of course. There was a time when that was considered unique, but gender fluid trans femmes are everywhere now, Bunny. What else have you got?
Pan-romantic, great ace, white passing Japanese person who lives with...
Please say a doctor, please say a doctor. I mean, let's go over that list one more time. Pan-romantic. Now, pansexual came about with the whole gender thing and means they're attracted to people regardless of gender identity, which also means willing to date an attention seeker. But pan-romantic? Since when has romance been a sexuality? Like, oh, I love flowers, chocolates, and cuddling in the moonlight. It gives me a right boner. Next up was, I think they said great ace? Ace as in asexual, but it could also have been grape ace, and considering the bun thing, let's not rule it out. Then they said white passing Japanese person. Now, don't the Japanese have a certain look to them? Normally you can spot a Japanese person, can't you? Whereas if Bunny here was in a lineup with all the people who auditioned for the role of the Penguin in the Gotham TV series, I'd have a hard time figuring out who's who.
Chronic illness, chronic pain.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of that too right now, Bunny.
Mental illness, anxiety, depression, bipolar.
No. Really? No. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people suffer from all those things and more, but they don't generally wear them like Boy Scout badges, do they?
CPTSD stemming from multiple sources, sexual trauma, narcissistic abuse from multiple spouses and family members.
Well, no joke, that sucks, and is something that's all too common. Not to mention how greatly it affects you in adulthood as well, Bunny, so I hope we can both agree that this is not normal, nor is it anything that should be encouraged.
And spending a year overseas trying not to get blown up every day.
Wait, did you just imply you were in the army? I thought Trump put a stop to that. Or did you just live in Iran for a bit? Because if so, God bless the burqa.
So those are the topics that are really important to me. So I will talk about all of these issues.
Are we including the bunny thing in those issues? Because I think we should be including the bunny thing in those issues.
I'll add in pronouns.
Yes, good. Because I wish, nay, I need to know what has to happen to a person for them to identify as a rabbit.
And normativity.
Again, I don't think you're the most qualified person to talk on that subject.
Talk about ableism and mental health.
No, I'm fine with that one. You go nuts. Oh, God.
Mental health is something we really need to talk more about. So, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy and learn from my videos.
Well, there we go. That's Bunny Quinzel. Don't you feel like you know them already and you sort of wish you didn't? Of course I say them because honestly, I haven't got a fucking clue how I would slip bunny pronouns into a sentence and still be taken seriously. Not that I'm taken seriously very often, but in comparison to this, it feels like I'm delivering the Gettysburg Address. So, if Bunny here can identify as, well, a bunny, then just how far does this rabbit hole go? Lucky for us, it just so happens Bunny Quinzel is the foremost expert on the subject. Probably because no one needed to step up to the plate until now.
Hi everyone, my name is Bunny. I use bun pronouns.
No, you don't, Bunny. You expect everyone else to use them when talking about you. And let's be fair, a lot of people must be talking about you.
I identify as gender fey.
Gender fey? Well, that is a new one. Is that fey as in fairy? That would make sense because they aren't real.
What does being gender fey mean?
If I had to guess, it means being away with the fairies, which is a British saying, meaning you're living in a fucking dream world.
Gender fey is a type of non-binary gender fluid identity.
Yeah, of course it is. Do you remember when the joke was, I identify as an attack helicopter? Well, it's not looking like such a joke now, is it?
That ranges between agender and feminine with no feelings of masculinity.
Hold on. Agender means you don't feel as though you have a gender. Weird, I know. But even weirder, you're saying gender fey is between not having a gender and feminine? I mean, how the fuck does that work for a start? With absolutely no feelings of masculinity. So you're telling me there's no such thing as a macho fairy? You're telling me Jorgen von Strangle isn't the epitome of masculinity? The boss and commander of all fairies, the only fairy who doesn't have wings because he deemed them too girly. You're saying he is between agender and feminine? It's almost like none of this makes sense, Bunny.
There is no single set point. It can move around.
Oh, how very convenient that it moves around. How very convenient that you don't have to be specific when describing what this word means, Bunny.
There are associated identities that are in that family.
Oh shit, really? You know this is gonna be a shopping list of delusion, don't you? Alright, go on then.
There is gender fawn.
Gender fawn? Fawn? Like Mr. Tumnus in the Chronicles of Narnia? Come on!
Which is similar, but never encompasses feelings of femininity.
But how do you feel feminine, Bunny? How can gender be a social construct, but you also know how being feminine feels? Never mind knowing the feeling of the absence of femininity. You know, I'm no longer against you calling it gender fawn, because like C.S. Lewis, you're just making shit up.
There's gender fair.
I think you mean gender fair there, mate. As in you're terrified of reality.
Which is a form of gender fluidity that never encompasses completely, entirely being male.
But male is a sex. Darling, your people have been professing for a long time now that sex and gender are different things. So it shouldn't be that hard to stick to your own narrative, should it? You should be able to describe gender without referring to sex, shouldn't you? That is, if it all makes sense, just saying.
So there are feelings of masculinity, it's just not identifying as male.
How do you identify as male? Long have I heard that gender is a social construct, but male and female are biological terms, Bunny, used in important things like medicine. I mean, a male who identifies as a woman isn't at risk of developing an ovarian cyst, and a female who identifies as a guy should still get an annual pap smear. Identify as male. You know, you might identify as a rabbit, Bunny. That doesn't mean you can get myxomatosis, but you should still check your balls for lumps.
Then there is gender floor, which is a form that never encompasses male, female, masculine, feminine.
So nothing, then. You just don't have a gender. After more and more people started to identify as genderqueer and gender fluid and gender... some people needed something to make them feel unique again. So now they have no gender. And during your bi-monthly gender circle jerks, when someone asks you for your pronouns, you just go, I haven't got any.
It is a type of gender fluidity that only encompasses agender or non-binary identities.
But non-binary is an identity. Agender isn't. It's a negative. It doesn't exist. Well, I mean, none of these exist, but you get my meaning. It double doesn't exist. It's nothing. There's no sliding scale of nothing, no varying degrees of nothingness.
And there we have the gender fey family of identities.
Well, I feel smarter. Much was covered here, from Narnia to nothingness. But wait, there's more. I mean, come on, did you think I was gonna stop there? Did you think Bunny Quinzel was gonna stop there? You see, in their world, there are infinite genders, and they have been tasked with naming them all. Then it goes to a different department in the Ministry of Queer for a flag to be assigned, and before you know it, we're up to our tits in rainbows. So, what's next on the list? Well, we've got one more gender identity. But the real question is, will it be animal, mineral, or vegetable?
Hi everyone!
Hello again, Bunny.
My name is Bunny. I use fun pronouns.
Yeah, still no closer to knowing how in the ever-loving piss that works. Gotta keep the mystery, I guess. And it looks like you have some exposed insulation in your ceiling there, Bunny. Might want to take a look at that when you're done here.
So continuing on the video talking about the gender fey identities.
Which is still painfully present in all of our minds. And why do you keep gesturing like an anime schoolgirl? Is that what you meant when you said you're Japanese?
There's one called gender floret.
Gender floret. Floret. Like broccoli stems. Huh? What do you know? It was a vegetable.
So gender floret and gender fey are pretty similar.
Both nonsensical words designed to make you feel better about why no one wants to hang out with you. Now you can say it's because of your gender, but in actual fact it's because you are just insufferable.
Where gender fey is gender fluid between agender identities and female.
Once again, Bunny, you are using biological sex to describe gender. Why is that? Why, if gender is a standalone thing, can you not describe it without naming the sexes? Have a think about that, Bunny. After you've fixed your ceiling, of course.
Gender floret is gender fluid amongst different agender neutroid identities.
Wait, what? What did you say? Agender and what?
Agender neutroid identities.
What was that? It's like you started to make up a word but gave up halfway through. Like agender and I can't be bothered. I mean, you must have broken a sweat coming up with all this in the first place. Have a sit down, drink some water.
With some feelings of femininity that can come in every now and then.
Right, so gender floret is when you don't have a gender most of the time. Is that some days you wake up like, oh, feeling feminine? Or does it happen randomly throughout the day? Like you'll be there at home updating the gender Wikipedia. Yes, it exists. And you'll suddenly feel the overwhelming urge to cry. Because I've felt like that since the beginning of this video, Bunny. It's not a gender thing.
But never fully identifying as female.
So the difference between gender fawn and gender floret is that sometimes you feel a bit girly. You're making this up, Bunny. Which we all knew anyway, but just in case there was ever any doubt, you know?
That's what I've got for gender floret. Thank you, everyone. Bye!
Oh, thank God for that. There were times during this video that I honestly thought I wasn't gonna make it. But then it had its good points as well. My favourite part was the use of the word agender. That is, not having one. Which means you either have a gender or you don't. And so, lo and behold, they made gender binary again. Thanks for watching, guys. Please consider becoming a patron, unless you already are, in which case you got to see this abomination of a video early. You lucky, generous devils. And be sure to check me out on Twitch, where I continue to shout at things that aren't actually real. The links are in the description, and remember, if gender is in your head, then agender means there's nothing in your head.